You need to know where you want to go, right? Those without the vision for the future always return to the past, because the life that you're living right now is a direct result of the actions and your vision that you have had in the past. So the 4 C's is a concept really of how we learn anything in life. And what I mean by that is when we learn in life, we don't just go, in German there's a saying that no master ever fell from heaven. And what that means is basically that you're not the best in the world just from the get-go. Like, so everything, there's also a saying that says everything worth doing is worth doing?
Right.
Wrong. So, sorry, that is, everything worth doing is worth doing poorly at the beginning. Because you just simply, everything you do for the first time, you're going to suck at. Right? You're going to suck. It's just how it is. You didn't just jump on a bicycle at 5 years old and start racing the Tour de France. Right? You didn't just go and become a world-class painter. You didn't just become a world-class engineer. You didn't just become a world-class land flipper. You have to learn from scratch. Right? You have to learn from the beginning. The way to mastery is by going through these 4 steps. And the 4 steps is number 1, commitment, number 2, courage, number 3, capability, and number 4, confidence. So it basically starts with the commitment. Now the commitment comes from the Latin word committere. And committere means to cut off other options. In other words, it's a different way of saying like burning the boats. Right? So committing means not trying, not let me see if it works, not oh let's see, this could be something. No, committing means like this is it and nothing else, and I'm going to go and this I'm going to go all in and make this what I'm going to do. Like Jeanette Amayo, for example, who is a former principal of a high school, and she's like, screw that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go full in, and now she's on track to make $1 million. Right? That's the example. So you need to commit to yourself first, though. You need to commit to your vision, to figuring things out. And you need to ask yourself, how important is my vision? You need to make your vision clearer. You need to vision more emotional. You need to make your vision more impactful. The first thing is to commit to yourself, then commit to the outside world. Make a decision, take action, announce it, and actually put the first step forward. Like, if you want to look at it that way, I must say, like, in life, it's almost like that. The universe almost like puts when you have an idea, or you get put in front of you an opportunity. That opportunity, typically, it creates excitement in you, right? It creates excitement in you, but it's almost like the universe looking at you saying, like, okay, I created excitement in you, but are you going to take it and run with it? Because if not, I'm going to take the excitement away again, and then going to move it over to somebody else. So it's like you have this opportunity and you have that excited, you need to actually use that and take one step forward. It's like the 48-hour rule or something like that. From the moment you're excited, you take that next step within a 24 to 48-hour time period, because that keeps the momentum going. Right? And he also builds accountability when you commit it to the outside world. So the next thing happens is commitment creates courage. Because once you're committed to it, you're like, crap, now I have to do something about it, right? So now I have to make this work. And that actually stirs up something that is a little bit fearful. That's a little bit scary. And that's actually normal. That's normal. Right? Right now, again, I said like we're probably making and putting a letter of intent, basically an offer in on a $20 million apartment complex but 10 years ago when we first did that, I was peeing in my pants before doing that on a $5 million apartment complex. Because it was the first time, a big deal, I don't know all the things and so on. Now it's like, yeah, sure, the numbers make sense, let's go do it. Because you build courage over time, right? You build courage, and courage is doing things not without fear. Courage is doing things in spite of fear, in spite of uncertainty, right? In spite of discomfort, by being able to trust that there is a backup system for you, there's a support system for you. And what that then actually does, with the commitment and the courage, you start doing your first steps. And as you start doing your first steps, it starts building capability. Because all of a sudden you start to realize, I can actually do this. What this guy with a weird German accent said in front of the stage here actually works. Like, I'm actually sending out letters, I'm actually getting phone calls back. I'm actually making offers, I'm actually getting deals accepted. oh my God, this stuff actually works. I can actually do this. I can actually learn those steps, right? So you start realizing I'm better at this than I thought. I can actually do this. And then the momentum builds. And then as you do 1 deal, more deals, 5 deals, 10 deals, 15 deals, 20 deals, you start gaining, you start feeling comfortable doing this. That's why I said, for example, you learn this in phases. You don't do the title work at the beginning. You don't do the self-closings. You focus on the main kind of thing here, on learning the steps. And then what it builds is confidence. Like confidence. Mahalani said it yesterday. It's like 2 years ago, did you walk through life a little bit different than you walk through life today? Yeah. Yes, she says. Right? So, yes, absolutely. Who can agree with that? Who is doing deals and is walking through life a little different now than you did before you started? Right? Yes. So before we did our first land deal, I was walking through life like this. Like, oh my God, we're trying to make real estate work. Is this really for us? Is this really something I should do? What am I doing? I have a college degree in business. I should be going at this company there. Why don't I go back over here and do this? Who am I to think that I can do this? Once I did that first deal, guess how I walked through life? I'm a real estate investor. I can do this, right? Like, because it changes you, like it changes you. It changes how you walk through life. It changes how your confidence, and it builds confidence. And courage builds confidence. Capability builds confidence. Actually doing this builds pride, builds certainty, builds serenity. Again, so we too were afraid when we started. I remember when we started, we had the flip open phones. Nice. Yes, the iPhone was not around yet. We had the flip open phones. And the very first time we sent out letters and that phone began to ring, like Michelle and I happened to be both at home. We basically were like, what do I do? Michelle, here, you pick up. So show her the phone. She's like, no, I'm not picking up. I don't know what to say. She throws it back to me. And then whoever had the phone at the 5th ring would just flip it open. It's like, Our Investments, how can I help you? And then glare at the other person. It's like, but then guess what? Over 20, 30, 50, 100 phone calls that we gotten in or more over time, we're like, oh, phone is ringing. Yes, hey, how can I help you? Yes, you want to sell your land? Okay, great. Let me ask you a few questions. Okay, sounds good. You build confidence. You build capability. It's in everything. It's in the micro. It's in the macro. It's in everything. The 4 C's is how you learn everything in life. And then what happens is, as Michelle said, it's never ending. Because once you then learn something and you master it, then guess what? The next round of it comes. Oh, you now mastered $5,000 deals? Well, let me go and see if I can do $5,000 deals. I can do $15,000 deals. If I can do $15,000 deals, I can do $50,000 deals. If I can do all these things, I can now perhaps take a deal and split it. Perhaps I can now take this deal and rezone it. Perhaps I can now take this deal and develop it, or put the utilities on there for mobile homes. Perhaps I can go, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like Crystal and John, for example, 2 of our coaches, they started exactly the same way. And he's a pharmacist and she's an operation manager for a company. They didn't have real estate experience, and they started with us, and they went through our coaching program, and then now they're master coaches. And not too long ago, they came across a development with 25 empty lots that somebody had given up on, and they were able to buy those lots. So they're like, they have already reached multiple cycles of the 4 C's. They were now at a point where it's like, what do we do with those lots? Do we just wholesale them and make $20,000 a lot? Or do we actually go get yourselves a builder and build houses on every single one of them, and then, based on the math, make $95,000 a lot? They chose the latter one. So on 25 lots, $20,000 would have been $500,000. Anyone okay with 500 grand wholesaling 25 lots? Yes. If that's one of the deals you get early on, that's a home run, slam dunk, absolutely amazing. But they were not at the beginning. They're already several cycles through the 4 C's, and they're like, well, what if we make $90,000 on each lot? $94,000 times 25 is close to $2.5 million. Why don't we do that? And they started doing those, and the first houses are now selling, and they're making $90,000 to $100,000 a deal in that process, right? Because it's an evolution over time as you can do more and more and more. So again, the cycle continues. So you get better and better, have higher and higher goals, are more and more confident, are more and more capable, and over time you become a peak performer on that. So if you see guys here, if you see attendees here walking around that have done 30, 40, 50 deals, they were exactly where you were just a couple of years ago. They just have now a couple of years ahead of time. And again, in land, you can do all kinds of different things, and each of them ultimately will have a 4C cycle attached to it. They can do land wholesaling, land seller financing, land note creation and selling, land splitting, land development, land leasing, renting, timber harvesting, land rezoning, land assembly. Like you can go into the cities and instead of splitting land, you do the opposite. You take two, 3 lots together that individually are too small to put something significant on there, but together they're big enough to perhaps put a built multifamily property on there, and together they're worth way more as the individual pieces. That's something that some people do, but again, each of those is its own little cycle of 4 C's, but the beautiful thing is we have all of those covered in our team in our organization, our team, so whichever way you want to go, we got you covered here. You need to know where you want to go, right? Those without the vision for the future always return to the past. Because the life that you're living right now is a direct result of the actions and your vision that you have had in the past. So if you want the reality of tomorrow be something different, you need to first know what that difference is. And then you need to see, okay, in order to get there, what decisions do I need to take? What things do I need to make happen very clear? Then you need to stack those visions. Like stack the reasons, stack the goals, make them real, make them urgent, make them non-negotiable, take action. And then also if you have something in your life that is painful, where people, I don't know, abused you, where people bullied you or something, sometimes also it's fun to think that massive success is the best revenge. Like go look forward to that next high school reunion and show up being the successful one. Right? Show up being the healthy one. Show up being the one that is thing. When I remember when Michelle went to a really, really good graduate school in Phoenix. That's how we ended up in Phoenix. And all the people that she graduated with, they went to like middle management and big places and things like that. Super smart people, just like she is. And when we told them that Michelle is not going to get a job afterwards, but she's actually going to go full time into land flipping, they looked at us as if we were aliens. They looked at us like, what? What are you doing? You just went through this educational process and now you're doing what? Flipping dirt? Guess what? They literally laughed in our faces. They looked at our website, they saw descriptions, they laughed their butts off. And we were just sitting there like an alumni kind of meeting, and we're just like uncomfortably smiling. Guess what? 10 years later, they had a 10-year reunion. Some of these guys came on a cane, because they got an already heart attack. Some of them guys had gained a lot of weight. Everyone looked like they had aged 30 years. And they, one after the other, came up to Michelle and says like, you know what? You were the smart one. You were the smart one doing the right thing. Now, she didn't go there to show like, I showed you so. She went there really because there was great people and great friends and so on that she had made over the years. And I attended, they had a pub on campus, so I attended the university too. I just attended the pub. But that's... I made, through the pub, I made some good friends there too. So when 10 years later, when we came back to meet them, I knew them all too. And they're like, their lives, they're all like stressed out of their mind, never seeing their family, working all day long. And they're like, man, we should have done what you guys do. So, but again, so again, massive success is sometimes the business revenge, even though in our case it wasn't a revenge. Again, also think about it this following way: doing nothing also can mean massively losing. Because sometimes like, okay, I didn't do anything. Well, let's take a look at the economy. If you don't, you cannot afford to not take any action right now. Like the guy this morning, like Fred from Reworked REI, he showed the video of the driverless car. Literally, if you ever go to Phoenix, Arizona, download the Waymo app and get yourself a driverless car. They're driving everywhere in Phoenix. They're everywhere. Like and there's no driver in it. There's nobody in it. Like I took some videos the other day, sent it to my family in Germany. They're like, oh my God, because I pulled up next to an empty car. And then it turns green and the empty car goes zoom. And it's like, good. And they're everywhere now. They're really ramping it up. Up to last year, they had a driver in there just for control. Now the driver is gone. Right? Guess what that means to Uber? Guess what that means to any level of transportation? Guess what that means to FedEx, to UPS, and things like that? Soon enough, the UPS truck is going to drive by. A robot is going to come out and bring your truck, bring your piece out to you. And I'm not making this up. They're producing already there's a shortage of truck drivers right now. Well, not for very much longer, because in the next 5 to 10 years, there won't be any truck drivers necessary anymore. So the point is, there's a lot of changes coming to right now. And while people are scary about that, I think it's actually not necessarily, for some people it's going to be very painful, but overall it's actually not a negative thing. I'm very optimistic about the future. But the point is, you got to position yourself in that world to win. That's the key. You got to position yourself to win, because there's going to be winners and losers. Like when they came up with the tractor, a lot of farm people working in the farm lost their jobs. When they came up with the car, within 10 years, the parade in New York went from all horses in one car to all cars with one horse. So it completely changed everything. Everyone that had horses. When Uber came out, it destroyed the taxi industry. Right? But it gained employment for tens of thousands of people driving Uber. Well, the driverless cars are going to take that away. And it's going to affect every single industry out there. So freedom only comes from expanding who you are. Freedom comes from the ability to react to the world and from the ability to actually implement what works when it works and implement it quickly, from having more capabilities. So for example, if you did nothing during the 2004 to 2007 boom, you lost out on millions and millions and millions of dollars in profits. For example, we flipped about 1,500 or 4,500 lots during that time period, and we made millions in the process, and we had built up huge monthly cash flow. And then when the market switched, our land, by the way, was only somewhat affected. So prices, of course, were affected in the land flipping area. When the market crashed in 2009, of course our prices were affected. Prices of land went down, but the demand didn't go away. So just instead of buying a property at $30,000 and selling it for $70,000, we pick up the similar properties now for $15,000 and sold them for $30,000. So our margins were smaller, but our business model continued to work. Instead of selling them at the bid auction, we actually, at that point, internet was around, and high-speed internet was everywhere. So we were able to actually transition to the method that we're selling them to this day, which is online, which is through the different websites. Google was around, and websites like land.com came on the surface. eBay was around, and so on and so forth. And obviously that has since then evolved. But we were able to just switch the channel to which we sell, but the method continued to work. But lots of people lost their shirt over there. But the point is, those who did nothing also lost on the opportunity of making money during that upswing. But then what happens with that during the big recession? Those that did nothing during the big recession, when the media was screaming that blood is on the street, real estate is bad, it was like the most ridiculous thing ever. Because when houses that sold for $300,000 before, $200,000 before, now sold for $40,000, really, the way we looked at it is that America is for sale. America, pardon? Let's go shopping, says Michelle in the back. Exactly. So, exactly, let's go shopping, because here's the thing. In that moment, though, were we prepared? Yes. We were 100% prepared. We had now gone through the 4 C's a bunch of times. We had the knowledge, we had the capability, we had the courage, we had the commitment. We knew what real estate is. We are used to real estate experience. We had done a lot of real estate deals. We knew the language of real estate. We still didn't know anything about houses. Zero, because we had only flipped land. But at the same time, we knew how title work works. We knew the language. We knew the understanding. We had money. We had $70,000 a month coming into our bank account, plus additional cash sales. And we basically went shopping. Because you would have lost it by not having the knowledge and being prepared, you would have lost out on millions of dollars again. So we bought cheap rental houses for $40,000, $50,000. Guess what? We own most of them still. Some of them we sold off. One portfolio we sold off. But about 20 of them we still own. And those 20, they're now worth $400,000 a piece. So right there is $8 million worth of real estate that we made by just being able to act when the situation is ripe and when the market was ripe for that. And that's what I was saying yesterday. Is there a possibility that there's a recession? Is there a possibility that something's happening? Yes, but for that possibility, you want to be ready with cash and cash flow and knowledge and ability and experience to be able to dive into it, because that's when fortunes are created.